Well, hey everyone, welcome into another episode of The Simple Truth, but this is the special Saints Speak edition of The Simple Truth. I am Jermaine, your host as always, Brother Jermaine for the Saints out there. And as you can see, once again, I'm at G.O.T.S 2012, and I'm not alone. I want to introduce to everyone out there, if you're a YouTuber, you've probably seen him before, but I'm blessed to say that he's my brother in the Most High. He's a fellow Israelite. This is Zach from New2Torah. Zach, welcome into The Simple Truth. Glad to have you and glad to see you in person, be able to hug you and be able to really and truly hang out with you. But I just want you to say a few words, an introduction, tell the people about yourself, and then we'll get into just talking back and forth a little bit.
Yep, this is my first time at G.O.T.S. I'm having a blast getting to know all the saints here, the Most High, and fellowshipping with them and just talking about Scripture and just having a great time. It's been great, finally meeting you and some of the other guys, Pastor Dow, and getting to hang out again with Pastor Joe Fox. And it's a lot of fun to have here at G.O.T.S 2012. So,
well, see, people are going to hear this and they're going to see this, and Zach, they're going to think, hey, this is a gathering of religious people or so-called Israelites, and how could you be having fun? But I mean, tell the people out there, because I've been trying to explain it through all the interviews and before I came, how excited I was to come. But really, being here is even greater than what you thought it would be, because I can say that. I know we've talked about that, and it's just to be able to be here. You would not believe, people, YouTubers as well as saints out there, you wouldn't believe that you can be with people who have the same like mind. Yeah, you can talk about fun things and laugh and joke, but you can also enjoy what God's Word really means as a living example in our lives, So, Zach, first and foremost, I always ask every guest that comes on the Saint Speak, what is it that caused you to become awake and learn the truth?
Oh, wow. I think really it was going to a conference back in 2010 that happened in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. And I was invited to go by some friends who were also discovering the truth, and was really excited to go there. And we got to meet a few people and see some speakers who were into this, into Torah, and coming back and reading our scriptures and seeing actually what the Bible said, and casting aside all of these doctrines that religious people had, impregnated, religious people with. And so we did that, and I heard a lot of these speakers, and me and my wife were both blown away. And so we went back, we investigated our scriptures, and sure enough, we had been lied to. We've been totally, smoke and screens, mirrors, I mean, it was the whole deal. And it's amazing, it's dangerous what you can learn when you go back in your scriptures and read what it says. And so it was about 2010, we went to a conference. Okay. And I mean, there are people out there waking up all over. Right. And it's amazing. And so that's what woke us up. And then we got plugged into Pastor Dow and some other good people out there who are teaching the same thing, and just having a great time finally meeting the saints. And I'll tell you what, if I can. Go ahead. One of the biggest encouragements is to come to a place like this where you can meet brothers and go, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. But anyway, it's just an encouragement to come in and see that you're not alone. Because, when you're out in your hometown, you're out by, with your family, you think, man, nobody gets this. Yep. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Yep. But, when you come in and you see 211 people who get it, and they're all trying to fellowship and worship the Most High, and they get the scriptures the way you do, I mean, what more encouragement can you want? And so there are people like this all over the world and all over the country, but getting plugged into groups like this is such an encouragement. It amazes me. I get tongue-tied when I think about it, because when you come to the way, you come to the truth, like you said, you feel like you're absolutely alone. You might see a few spotted people here out there on YouTube, and Pastor Fox, Pastor Dow, yourself, myself. But the thing is, I always ask, I say, even though you've made that decision and you've done what you've done, what is the one thing that you would say has been the biggest challenge about being a saint? Because many Christians out there want to call themselves a saint. We won't go into the diatribe of that explanation. If for that, go to Zach's archives at New2Torah, or go to mine, go to his website. We can go into detail about that. But when you get that understanding and that out the way, but what is the biggest challenge that you have found? You're married, you have a wife, lovely family.
what is the thing that you find is the most challenging about being a saint? Well, it sounded like, part of that came from, wanting to know that there are more people out there like yourself. But what's another thing that you deal with on a daily basis? Brother Zach has to deal with this, and he works with it, and the Most High helps you with it, but you get through it because you love the Most High.
I think that the answer is easy for me. I mean, at least for me, the answer is easy. And that answer is my extended family. We've all been called crazy. We've all been saying, you're in a cult, or you're this, or you're that, and you're taking religion too seriously, you're taking the Bible too seriously. That's really the most hurtful for me. I mean, that's the thing that really hurts me the most, because I want my family to see it.
Absolutely.
And my wife and my kids, obviously my wife, we do get it. We're on board with each other, and even my wife's parents are on board.
Okay.
But having my extended family, because you love them. These are people who you love, who you've grown up with, who raised you, and who are your friends and family, and nothing more that you want is to see them get it and to understand the Most High like I do when I read my scriptures.
Okay.
And so I think that's probably the thing that hurts or is the most difficult to deal with.
And it's ever, it's ongoing. You have to deal with it day in, day out, because that family's not going.
Because I am separating myself.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do some of the things I used to do anymore. I'm not going to be of that world anymore. So if I'm going to be sanctified, which means set apart, I have to be set apart. And truly set apart. And that hurts, because these are people whom I love.
Right.
And so all I can do, and I know there's people here on this land who are experiencing this, I'm experiencing this. Right. And so what I would encourage you to do is just get on your knees, literally on your knees, and pray for those people. Yeah. And pray for that relationship. And maybe that they'll start to ask questions. And I think over the last 2 years, some of them have started asking questions.
Okay.
But really get on your knees and pray about it.
And that, man, that speaks volumes, Zach. When you think about the fact that, I am truly separating myself. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this point, and I have to interject this. It's not that we're separating ourselves from the people per se, but we're separating ourselves from the sin that those people have decided to continue, I'll say it again, to continue to accept.
Right.
Because they do not want to give it up. They're too comfortable in sin. And it's not a preaching moment here, but it's just truth. It really is. So with that being said, let me transition. And I always ask all the guests, and Pastor is going to get me, Pastor Dow, that is. I said, what was your first impression of Pastor Dow when you first? So I always got to do that, because there's so many vast stories. But I ask you, what was your impression?
I had I had come to Torah and was digging deep as much as I could, and I was paying attention to a lot of teachers out there. And Pastor Fox sent me a link to Pastor Dow, and I clicked on this link and I started watching it. And I know some people recoil at the man, because he's so hard sometimes, and he speaks truth, but the truth is hard. Right. But I tell you what, for me, I have an infantry background.
Okay.
And he immediately reminded of one of my first sergeants, whom I feared immensely.
Okay.
He was a first sergeant you did not want to cross paths with, and he speaks with that same. So, but I liked that first sergeant, because he always spoke truth too.
Okay.
So. He reminded me, he's former military.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm former military.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so when I first saw him, I was like, I can listen to this
guy
all day.
Okay. So see, now, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the opposite end of the spectrum answers about what was your first impression of Pastor Dow.
I posted some of his videos on my Facebook and a couple places, and man, did I get some.
You got beat up.
Oh boy! I tell you what, you want to start a cat fight, boy. I tell you what, you post one of his videos. Just
post a couple videos of Pastor Dow. You started off. You were started off. So the other question I have for you, I often wonder, what is the thing as far as truth is concerned that you would encourage other saints out there that are struggling, that they don't feel. And the reason why I say this is because I created Saints Speak, because I wanted a way to reach out to the saints and let them know there are others like us. Like you said, coming here has done that, and you searched around, because not everybody can be at G.O.T.S. 2012. We noticed that by great turnout, 211. But I think the reason why there weren't more people here is because Pastor Dow made it a point. Only saints could truly be here. Right. And that really put up a thing. But what would you say to the saints that couldn't make it? but, follow Pastor Fox, follow, you. They follow myself. They definitely follow Pastor Dow. What would you say to them as encouragement, as far as, although they can't be here face to face, what would you have to say to them, though they're not here, but they are a family of the Most High?
I would say, here's the deal. Yeshua said, get out there and work in the fields. The harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Yeah. There are people in your area whom you can fellowship with, who would be interested in getting into finding out what these Hebraic roots are. Yes. Okay, they want to know. We're just getting ready to start this coming Tuesday a new fellowship, Hebraic fellowship in my hometown. It's completely new people that we went out there and just formed. We found somebody who was interested and was willing to go to their church and say, hey, listen, would you open our doors for a study on the Shabbat? Wow. Or the study on the feast days? We can study these things. Wow. And people opened up and said, yeah, let's do it.
Now, is that information going to be available on your website?
I don't, because there are people out there who would try to contact the organization who opened our doors out to us.
And hurt them,
and try to shut it down.
Right, and you don't want to.
So we don't want to. But I tell you what, if you would go out there and you find these people, put an ad in the paper, or start talking to people. Say, hey, do you think anybody would be interested in learning about the feasts that are in the Bible? Maybe, I'm sure, eventually you're going to find someone who's
your Facebook page post.
Yeah. And people will, that's interesting to some people. Yeah. And all it takes is for things like that to get started, for people to realize by reading what the Bible says, we should keep these things forever for all your generations. They're going to start asking questions, well, why aren't we keeping these today?
Absolutely.
And then it tail spins at that point, okay? So if you're alone out there and you can't get to something like this, listen, go start something on your own. I just want to be an encouragement to you that you can do that. People are doing that. They're fellowshipping alone, and then there's your best opportunity to start something is you go out and do it.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I'm telling you, I am thankful to call you my brother. I've watched your videos, love what you do, and I appreciate having you on the show, definitely. Yeah. And it won't be the last time.
Okay.
You got to promise me that.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I got him, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that. No, but...
New2Torah.com.
New2Torah.com. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. I want to thank Zach with New2Torah.com and him giving us just a few moments here, because we're about to enjoy the rest of Shabbat. It's almost that time here, but it's a wonderful thing, a wonderful day, a wonderful opportunity to be able to do it with our family. And really and truly, Pastor has a saying, I know you probably heard him say it, and he says it all the time, that spirit is thicker than blood. Mm-hmm. And I've learned that. If I haven't learned that, and if I was away, out there in internet land, looking at Pastor every Shabbat and not really believing it, I know it now. Mm-hmm. I really do. I really know it now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking out your time and coming in and listening to The Simple Truth, this episode of Saints Speak. And I want you to understand that the simple truth of the whole matter is, and Zach said it best, he just said, get out there and do it. If you don't have a fellowship in your area, talk to people, open up, and begin. Reach out to us. We will do whatever we can in the sense, because we can't form it for you. But if you need some words of advice, shoot a video, let us know. Video is best, because it's hard to answer the emails, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, it's hard to answer. But trust and believe that if you do it, if you make something happen, the Most High will move and help those things happen, because he definitely wants more and more in his fold of love. He definitely wants them there. So, as I always tell you when I end The Simple Truth, I say the simple things are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they are the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. So take care. We want to sign off from G.O.T.S 2012. We want to say shalom, and in a little bit it'll be Shabbat shalom, but I'll be talking to you and you again real soon. Thanks.